Joining me now, live here on the Hill, the congressman from the state of Indiana, Marlin Stutzman. He is a member of the Budget and Financial Services Committee. Congressman, thanks for being with us tonight here on the Hill. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Blake. Great to be with you this evening.
So what's going on, Congressman? I remember back in 2017, Republicans said, we're going to repeal and replace Obamacare. They didn't, right? You ended up getting taxes. You didn't end up getting that. And now it almost seems like the start of 2017 might be playing out again here in 2025. What reassurances, if any, can you give your constituents that you're going to figure this out?
Yeah, well, you know what? I just came from the Speaker's office with a meeting with the freshman members, and I've been in budget meetings and, of course, our conference. This is just a process that Speaker Johnson is leading the way on, and that he's listening to all four corners of our conference. I was here from 2010 to 2017, and it wasn't necessarily like that back then. And also, the big difference, too, is that this time we've got President Trump, who's coming in, and he knows what Washington's like, and he knows that things have got to be done and done quickly. We're going to be there. It's going to happen, and I believe
How long is it going to take?
We're scheduled for a markup on. Well, we're scheduled for a markup on Thursday with Jody Arrington in the Budget Committee, and we're putting all these pieces together. One of the things that I think is important that's happening is that everybody has a voice at the table, and that everybody's getting a chance to share what they want to see as a priority for them or their district. But at the end of the day, Speaker Johnson is listening. This is all coming together, and I believe that we'll get this passed out of committee on Thursday evening.
When you look at the way forward here, there's a warning from, we've seen it from administration officials. The Hill is reporting tonight, basically telling Senate Republicans, look, we need the border money. We need it now, $175 billion on the border. And then when it comes to tax cuts, $1.5 trillion in cuts, $4.5 trillion in tax cuts. Congressman, how does your party make the argument right now that you're the party for fiscal responsibility when I look at a $36 trillion debt and growing, and right, it seems like it's only going to get bigger the next 4 years?
Well, you know, one of the things that has been needed to be done for a long time in Washington, D.C., and Elon Musk and the Doge team are doing this. The federal government has needed a colonoscopy, frankly. And, whether this is forensic accounting that is taking place by Elon and the Doge team, and this is going to start pointing the way. And I think it's going to also start creating this momentum that while we instinctively always knew that there was a lot of waste, fraud, and abuse, I think that there's going to be even more. And so, again,
But you don't think that's going to close the gap,
House,
right?
No. I mean, this is going to take. I mean, it's going to take some big pieces to start closing that gap. And one of the things that I've said too, and I'm a small business owner, an entrepreneur, and I know that when you're working with your banking teams, that their pro forma is looking for a 3 to 5 year window, going forward. So I think even if it has to be a 5-year extension on the tax rates, that's suitable. One of the other problems that we have, Blake, is the CBO scores these things, and only in Washington does it make any sense. It doesn't make sense outside of Washington to all of us who are used to the real world, where CBO scores tax cuts as an expense to the government. But we know the economy is going to grow, and there's a lot to be optimistic about. That's going to help close that gap, but we still have to get those cuts to start making sure that we control this outsized, bloated government.
Congressman, you talk about a 5-year window. Isn't that rolling back some of what the president wants? Because normally you can take these out 10 years.
Well, we all want that. We all want to make these tax rates permanent. But again, because the Congressional Budget Office scores those tax cuts as an expense to the government, it just manipulates and convolutes the entire process. So we're working with these two different pieces that don't always make sense, but we know it's going to grow the economy, and there's a lot to be optimistic about with the Trump economy, that the economy is going to grow and help fill that gap.
Got to leave it there. Congressman Marlin Stutzman is a Republican from the state of Indiana, congressman who just left the Speaker's office with us live here on the Hill. Thank you, sir.